Alrighty, we have got an okay day today, and then late tomorrow is when our next trouble comes weather-wise with what we've got an alert for, actually, and that will be a wintry mix kind of thing. Not a major storm, but one that's kind of inconvenient. It's sort of a pain as we're trying to get things done before the holiday. So if you have things to do, and today is an opportunity to do them, I'd take it. It'll be windy out there, yes, and we'll have clouds and sunshine mixed. It will be cool with a temperature of 46. And when that wind, the wind chills will actually feel as if they're in the 30s. But, you know, when you compare that to yesterday's rain, and then late Monday, the idea we might have a wintry mix, I think I'd take today and run with it. Speaking of runs, we take a look at the model runs, and they're not all the same. That's one of the problems with this storm. We know we're going to get something. We know that it's going to be of an icy form for most of it, if actually not all of it, especially for interior Connecticut, but how much of it's going to be snow and how much of it's going to be an icy mix to rain? That's going to be the issue. The GFS has consistently been the warmer model and shown more time where we see this pink color or even the green, which would be icy mix or rain for a good chunk of the state. Now, the latest model run on this has actually been slightly colder than previous ones with this same GFS. But nonetheless, it's still warmer when you compare it to other models that are out there. And you can see several hours where we see that pink color and no snow indicated across the state as we head in towards Tuesday and into Tuesday evening before it changes back to snow. So that's the GFS. It would start sometime Monday night and go through the day Tuesday. And you could see what the GFS does is it really puts most of the snow accumulation across Massachusetts and maybe a little bit across the northern part of Connecticut. More of it would be sleet freezing rain and just sort of like a glaze on the ground, and that would be about it. And then when we take a look at the European, this is the colder one. So when we take a look at what this model wants to do, as it's taking the storm closer to us, there's more cold air aloft, so it's keeping it more snow longer for a good chunk of the state. So here's about 8 a.m. on Tuesday. We've had several hours of light snow, according to this. And what you'll see is as we go on in time here through the day Tuesday, yes, the mix will come into the state, but this model actually says we could see more of this precipitation, if not all of it, along the Massachusetts border, more snow than anything else. So that's different than the GFS, and as a consequence of that, although it's not a blockbuster accumulation of snow by any stretch, it's more than the GFS, and it would coat the ground all the way down to the shoreline with a coating to 1 inch or 2, if not 3. So at least right now what we're going to say, at least officially, is a coating to 2 inches, and we'll just broad brush it and say statewide, this is a preliminary estimate for what we would get out of this. It would be enough to cause some inconvenience out there, and of course we put in the proviso that this could change because of the length of time that we'll be dealing with this. We might even up the northern totals a bit. We'll see then after that the system will bring in cold air. Notice how Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be mighty cold. Wind chills will be in the teens. And one other thing, Wednesday, a little punch of cold air and resurgence of it might even bring in a little period of snow, which might give us a coating to 1 inch then as well. There's nothing like that on early warning pinpoint Doppler now. Today what we're expecting is, if anything, maybe an isolated flurry, but other than that we'll have partly cloudy skies and reasonable temperatures. They'll be in the 40s with wind chills in the 30s.